Okay. All right. I can see Maria. I can see. Okay. I can see Mr. Harry. All right. Mr. Timothy and Barbara. These are the persons I'm still waiting for. Should I know that we are on in here together? Okay. And then Barbara has responded. Mr. Timothy. All right. Probably somewhere. So let's just keep up with persons we have on ground. Now, um, one way or the other, there was a mix-up somewhere, and I want to sincerely apologize for that. I don't know what happened when trying to set the meeting. Zoom, I don't know. This is the first time it's happening to me, where I'll create a date on Zoom or fix a time on Zoom, and then Zoom would change it up to be something else. So when creating the date, it's supposed to be today, which is March 1st, and it actually changed it by itself to 28th of March. So I'm still trying to figure out why, because even before I joined the class, I kept on trying to change it back to first, but it was now allowing it. So, and like I said, this is not the first time. I've been doing this for years. But this is the very first time, rather, that I'm experiencing this kind of thing. But anyways, we'll have the class now, and then we'll be having another class by 28th for those of us that are joining in for the free class. Madam Barbara, don't worry, yours, you're going to get some other um, additions from here too as well. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. So now we want to look at Excel for data analysis. But before we go there, before we look at it, uh, let me hear from everyone. I know many of us have used Excel one way or the other. You've come across Excel or you know about spreadsheets. Some of us might even be like really good at using it. Some of us using it in our day-to-day activities and all of that. So I don't like to hear from you. Um, we can do it. Okay, we have okay, the names are arranged A, B, H, T. So I'll take it like that. So we are going to just tell me what you know, what Excel is. What idea do you have about Excel? Like, just give me a rundown on what you know about Excel. So starting from Madam Adeyemi, from you, ma, what do you know about Excel? What do you think Excel is all about? Okay, she said to her it's for calculating. All right. Yeah. Okay. All right. Madam Barbara. Okay.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Excel can be used for it can be used to organize information or data, and it can also be used to calculate um any data or information.
That's it. Can be used to organize data or can be used to calculate data, if I'm correct. That's what you said, right?
Yes.
All right. Thank you
Yes.
so much. Or do you have any other thing you want to add?
Oh no, no, it's
All right.
okay.
All right. Thank you so much, ma'am. So over to you, Mr. Henry.
All right, thank you. Uh, I appreciate the opportunity to join the meeting because I got a mail not quite long like that. And Mrs. Adeyemi, good evening. Barbara, good evening. Mr. Tony, and to our caller anchor, the CEO of Astra. I so much appreciate it, sir. So the concept of Excel, spreadsheet, this is a very broad subject like that. In that about 500 and something functions is found in Excel alone. So beyond the visualizations and analysis, elementary mathematics down to some other financial calculations. So Excel is very broad. And to me, it involves calculations. It involves using chart to draw and inform decisions and making the complex data more understandable to a layman. That is beyond using the mathematical calculations. You can visualize an information that seems complex. Thank you, sir.
Oh, thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. Fantastic. Fantastic. And just to clear the air, I'm not the CEO of ASPRO. I happen to be one of the facilitators for data analysis. The CEO will one way or the other come on the Zoom call, probably not tonight, but one day. Who knows, probably the next class it might be available. All right. So Mr. Timothy, what do you understand by Excel?
Yes, for me, I know it's for calculation and for open documents. That's just the things I use it for mostly.
All right, thank you so much, sir. Fantastic. Thank you so much. So we've all said really, really amazing things about what Excel is. And from what we've said, I can see that we actually know one or two things about it. It's like we've interacted with the interface, and which is very good. It's going to make the whole thing a lot easier tonight for us to work with and take it up from there. All right, so now let's move on. Now we're going to be looking at some things this night, although not all of this tonight, just a few. Then we'll pick it up probably by next class, or for those of us that might be interested in taking the paid class. This is just the free class for some persons, except one of us who is here who has actually joined the paid class. But for most of us that are here, this is just a free class. And from here, we'll be having the paid class, which is going to entail some other in-depth into how Excel works and how you can, some shortcuts for Excel to use for data analysis, and also covering other softwares such as SQL and Power BI. Now, this class specifically in its awesomeness or in an holistic form is data analysis class. That's what this class is all about. Data analysis class. This particular class happens to be just a free class to touch on Excel, just to like give it out. Then after this, we have the paid class where you'll be taught some in-depth practicals about how Excel is used, about how it's managed, and about how it's run. And in those classes, you also be given materials that are going to be working with. Like for instance, now one of us is here that has paid for the class, and she's going to be given the materials that she has actually been given the materials we're going to be working with this night, including this particular document, so that she can be able to follow through with it. So if you're interested in studying data analysis or having it as part of your skill set, or having it as part of your certificate, you can join us for the paid class. We'll have another class next weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Just chat the number that sent you the link and we'll take it off from there. So without wasting any further time, let's now look at what Excel is and how Excel works. Okay. All right. Just give me 5 minutes, please. All right, so let's look at how Excel works. What are we looking at? Now we're going to be looking at understanding or the fundamentals. We're going to be looking at differentiate components. We're going to be checking the interface. We're also going to be looking at the basic formatting used in Excel, and then understanding data entry in Excel. So now, one thing many of us said was that Excel is used for calculation. Yes, very true. Excel is used for calculation. Aside calculation, Excel is also used for charting, like as in the word creating visuals. And it's also used for database management. It's also used for presenting information. If we had a free class, I think that was last week, and we looked at what data analysis is. And that's why we're touching Excel, because Excel is part of the softwares used in data analysis. Now, when you're trying to work with data set for data analysis, you need to understand Excel primarily. Why? Because Excel is one of the basic software that is going to be used for editing data or working on data or transforming a data to an information or transforming a data set to an information. Now, the thing is that despite the fact that Excel is like a primary tool or one of the basic tools that you need to know to understand or to work on data analysis, it still has its pros and cons. And that's one of the things we're going to be looking at in the class today. Now, number one is that, okay, hold on. Before I go there, let me explain this part that has to do with what Excel is. Now, Excel is used for calculation, performing complex arithmetic and statistical computations. Like I said, charting, creating visual representations of data to identify trends and patterns. Then is also used for database management, organizing and managing data in a structured format. Then it's also used for presenting information. Many of us would have seen, I don't know if you've seen um, where where data has been analyzed and then you are given yes, this is even an example. Something like this that you're seeing on my screen. Yes, something like this. Excel is used to analyze and bring out stuff like this. This is an example of presenting information. It's used to present stuff like this. Now, there is what we call spreadsheets in Excel. And what is spreadsheets? Spreadsheets is also known as worksheets, and it comprises of rows and columns. And the intersection of this row and column is called a cell. So that is in a place like this, where the rows and column intersect here, like this, is called a cell. That's a cell that you can see over here. That's a cell at play. Now, there's also a slide regarding all of this to show you some things, but if I go there and come back, let me explain some other things. Now, the spreadsheet has its limits, and like I said, has its pros and cons. Number one, the pros is that it's an open workbook. Yeah, is something one can access to work with. It has rows by column, and then now. But one of the things you need to know, like the cons now, it's limited by memory. Limited by memory. It's if you don't save your work on Excel, you would only end up hurting yourself. There's a shortcut for saving, Control S. If you don't save your work on Excel, you end up hurting yourself. So it's limited by memory. It doesn't have enough memory to save things on the long term if you don't save them yourself. It's very limited. Then also, now for the rows and columns, it has over 1,048,576 rows and 16,384 columns. Now, this is very good. Like, depending on the data you're working on, this is very good. Some people, this is even a pro, but to some persons that are working on large data, that is a con. Because why? Or a disadvantage because why? Because why? It limits the data they want to work, or it would slow the system down. Now, one thing about working with Excel is that if you're working with data sets that are larger for the Excel to be able to process, it will begin to slow down. It can literally shut your system down. So if the data set you're trying to work with is quite heavy for the Excel to carry, it can literally shut down your system. So that's where using other there are other what they call it now, other softwares coming, such as Power BI, um, SQL, Python, sorry, Tableau, and so on and so forth. Even Arrow, yeah, Arrow. So this is where most of these ones come into play. Okay. So this is where most of this come into play, so that to enable you work with data effectively and efficiently. Especially if you are working with larger data sets. Like I said, especially if you're working with larger data sets, this other softwares can be able to help you work on them, so that you don't have to starting all over again when working with them, or your system crashes or stuff like that. Now, let's move on. Now, another thing is that the column width is just 255 characters. It does not exceed more than that. Now, if you're working, like I said, if you're working with larger data sets, all of these are very minimal. You won't be able to access. Imagine having to access the whole, having to look at the list of school children, or let's say students of a school between the year 2021 to 2026, which is now. And we're looking at, let's say for a public school, the year 2021 to 2026. Do you think this might be enough to take the whole of that? No, it will not be able to take it. In short, when in a class, you can have over 100 in a section. And we're talking about, I think that's about 3 to 4 sections now. And that's not just for, like, we're looking at GS1 probably A to J, or GS2 A to J, and GS3 A to J, and having 100 in all of that. This wouldn't be enough. This won't be enough. It would crash the system when you're trying to have such kind of analysis. This won't hold at all. This won't hold at all. It can crash the system. Even this might not hold, depending, can crash the system. So that's why I said Excel has its advantages and its disadvantages. So this just the disadvantage it has: limited by memory, then also limited by rows and columns. Then now let's now move on. Aside that, Excel is a very good software for you to use when you want to analyze data, especially if you are not working on large data, you're also trying to work on little data. It's very good for you to work with this. So now moving forward, these are some of the interfaces you will see in Excel, such as the file manager. Yeah, this is an active cell. This is an active cell. This is called the field handle. This is called the formula bar. This is called address bar. This is the file manager part. And this is a row, and this is a column. Then this is the worksheet tab. This is our status bar. And yes, we have the quick access ribbon. This is data. Now, this part we're looking at here, this one, ribbon tab. Now, I said data. This ribbon tab houses the menus that you can be able to go to when you want to work on your data. Like, we have the formulas here now, we have the page layout. I want to change the page layout. Insert page, probably picture or something from somewhere. Then add-ins, depending on how efficient you want to work with Excel. Now, these are, like I said, these are the interfaces. Then you have your title bar too here. These are the interfaces that we see or that are notable in Excel just for now. Yeah, like these are just the basic ones. Now, moving on from here, we now have to we now have to look at the meaning of each of these things. Now, I'm going to just be skipping some of this for now. I want to, yeah, let's just skip it so that we can be able to cover up some other things. But I will not like entirely skip. I will just give a touch on it and then we'll take it from there. So now, active cell. Active cell is, as the name implies, a cell at work or a cell that has been correctly highlighted that you want to work with. That's an active cell. Then we have also, we have also the role which I've shown you guys that we have the address bar or name box, and we've shown that already. As well. Then we have the title bar that is also here. Title bar is here. Then we have a quick access to toolbar. We have the worksheet tab, the column, the fill and the formula bar, file manager. I've spoken on most of this part. Like I said, when you come into the paid class, you get access to have this material to look at it. Now, without wasting any further time, there is an aspect we want to look at, which is basic formatting options. Now, there are some things you're going to be, okay. Just looking at, all right, let's do it like this. Okay, so you just hold on a bit. Let me open the other one. All right. Okay. All right. So, So we're going to be looking at one of the materials I'm going to be working with. So, Madam Barbara, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to be sure you're here with us. All right. So, Madam Barbara, just make sure you open this down on your system so that as I'm doing it, you're also trying it too on your end as well. And for the rest of us, you can just follow me while I go on here. So that we can all learn some things together. Now, but at the same time, if you have any question, you can just signify with an emoji and then I would come over it. Okay, and I hope I'm not too fast. I hope everyone can follow me. I hope everyone is actually following me. Okay, hope I'm not too fast.
No.
Okay, all right. So now let's now try something that is called paste options. Okay, I'm saying okay. No, thank you, Madam. Thank you, Madam Maria. All right, now let's now look at this actual part. Why I don't want to talk about this right now is because this is a hands-on stuff. We're going to be dealing with that, and then the alignments and every other thing. We're going to be dealing with all of these ones. I'm going to be explaining them right now on this particular Excel worksheet we're trying to work on. All of these parts. I'm going to be explaining it right now. But typically, please note this one, this particular one, this one right here. That for text aligns to the left. text would always align to the left. Numbers would align to the right. So when you have your number in your Excel and it's not aligning to the right, note definitely there's an alphabet in that number that you need to check. Or somebody must have done some kind of change in the alignment. Dates also would also align to the right, and also regardless of how it looks like, they always align to the right. Then symbols and alphanumeric. When you join alphanumeric and symbols together, like this now we're looking at here now, right now, it will come to the left. As you can see, 35 hits, it will come to the left. You know, some persons at times would write instead of 15,000, they write 1,500 and put an O at the back of the 1,500, thinking they've written 15,000. So when that happens, this would now align to the left, and one will be wondering, what have I done wrong this time? It's just because you mistakenly added an alphabet which you shouldn't add. So, but most times, one will just find their way around it though. So this is very important. Please note this. The text aligns to the left, numbers align to the right, date also aligns to the right, but alphanumeric would always align to the left-hand side. All right, so let's move on from there. So now, okay. All of these ones I'm going to be explaining it in this that we're about to do right now. All of these parts. How to align, how to wrap text, how to decrease, increase, merge, and all of that. We're going to be doing practicals on that. So the section 1, which is what we're doing right now, is paste operations. How do you paste? Now, Excel has some very special paste operations that makes pasting a lot easier. It's not just Ctrl+C, which is for copy, and then Ctrl+V, which is for pasting. No, there are some other little touch here and there that gives it this finesse to it that makes it a bit different from Word. Now, one of those is the paste special, which we're going to be looking at right now here. So now, if you copy this, Ctrl+C, and then you want to paste this here. Now, this would paste the value. But how would you want to actually paste the value? Actually, I mean, how would we now paste the value? What you do is to press Ctrl+Alt, then V. Now, when you do that, it will bring this interface that you're seeing right here. You can see formulas, values, formats, commands, validation. So you click on values. Click on values, you click OK. And it will paste all the values you have here. Now, let's look at this now. Let me just do a random one like this now, and then Ctrl+V again, and then I place values. Click on values, and then I click OK. It will only place value. It will not copy the color of the cell. Note, it will only copy the value. It will not copy the color of the cell. So that being said, now the next one is formats. So another Ctrl+C, copy this. Then you come here, alright, then Ctrl+Alt+V again. Then you click on formats. Press OK. Now format will copy the color of the cell. The format of the cell, it will copy it and bring it to the next place where you want to paste it. That's what format will do. Then the next one is formulas. Now formulas will copy the formula that is used in getting the answers in a cell, to copy those formulas and replicate it on another cell that you want it to be. So Ctrl+C here, then highlight here. Now note, this is 1 and 4. So 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 2, 2 times 4 rather is 8. 3 times 4 is 12. 4 times 4 is 16. Now we have 2, 4, 6, 8 here. 2 times 4, we'll get the answer now. 4 times 4, we'll get the answer now. 6 times 4, we'll get the answer now. 8 times 4, we'll get the answer now. So let's look at it together. Now, and then we'll paste Control Alt V, and then we'll paste formulas. Yep. And voila, as you can see, 4 times 2, 8, 4 times 4, 16, 6 times 4, 24, and then 8 times 4, 32. So it has pasted the values for us. I'm sorry, the formulas rather. Check it out. Look at it. So 4 times 2, 4 times 4, 4 times 6. Now, there's something I know some of us might be wondering. Okay, I can see a one might be wondering, okay, I can see a dollar sign or $2 signs rather. Now, what are they doing there? What are these dollar signs looking for? Why are we using dollar signs? This is called cell referencing. This dollar sign you are looking at here is called cell referencing. It's a way of freezing a cell. It's a way of freezing a cell so that in so much that regardless of how many times you copy and paste that particular Okay, hello, can everyone hear me? Sorry for that. I think that was a network glitch. Can everyone hear me so that I know that everyone is here with me?
Yes.
All right. Okay, so let me go back to what we're doing. So, like I was trying to explain before. Okay, thank you, ma'am. So, like I was trying to explain before, this dollar sign you are looking at right here is called cell referencing. Okay, it's a way of freezing a particular cell in so much that when you copy and paste, or when you try to do for a mathematical calculation with that cell, it stays constant. It does not change. The cell would not change. It stays constant. Now, many of us might be wondering, where would this be useful? How would this be useful? For what reason will it be useful? Don't worry. If you join the paid class, you would see its usefulness in all of its beauty. Yes, just join the paid class. You see it in all of its beauty. But regardless, I think I might touch a thing or two about it right here. Okay, yes, it's part of this. I might just touch it a bit and then we'll take it up from there. But let's look at this now. All right, okay. All right, so that's cell referencing. So it has locked down this particular one. We're looking at this is E23 and this is E23. So it has locked down the number 4, the column, this column E. It has locked it down. Column E, row 23, it has locked it down. Why? Because in Excel, when you are doing this kind of calculations, such as taking it up like this. Okay, let me look at this. Okay, what are we doing here is values and format. Let me leave this. When we get to cell referencing, I will explain in full details. I'm really beginning to teach more than what I'm supposed to teach at the moment. So let's just leave this. When we get to cell referencing, I will explain it in more details. Now, the next one we're looking at is transpose. Now, what does transpose do? We want to move this that you're looking at right here to this place. How do we get that done? You've copied it already, then you do Control Alt V again, then you come here and then you click transpose. Then you click OK. And it will align all of it on that space for you that you have highlighted. So note that you have highlighted. So if I highlight more than this space, it will keep on placing it like that. For instance, let's see, Control V and then transpose. So you just keep on placing it like that. Okay, on the B. Okay, okay, let me repeat it again. I don't know which one you're referring to, Madam Maria, but let me just repeat this last one I just did again, if I'm correct, right? Transpose, okay. All right, I'll do it again. Okay. So now, how do we transpose? If I want whatever is here to be on this space, this particular space, for it to be outlined there, what I would do is that I will highlight this that I'm looking at right here, then Control C, then lay it, like draw the highlight. I will highlight the cells I want it to be on, highlight them, then Control Alt V to bring this interface that you're looking at right here. Then click transpose. When you click transpose, you would click OK. And as soon as you click OK, it will align them like that for you to be able to use. Now, note, it is going to be aligned on the parts where you have highlighted. If you highlight it more than a particular space, it would align it across that space. So for instance, if I come here now and I put it here like this, like just align it all through, right? And then I still do Control V, and then I put transpose, and I press OK. It will align it. Oh, this one was very generous. Okay, I didn't allow, sorry. I highlighted more than 2 rows. That's why I did this. But if I highlight just 1 row, let me do it again. Just 1 row. Well, okay. This stuff just did now some minutes ago. Excel can be very funny. Oh, okay. I need to copy again. Okay, transpose. This is something I just did some minutes ago. Excel can be very funny sometimes. So, all right, let me just leave it like that. It doesn't want to do again. Let us leave it like that. So that's how it works for Excel. You can transpose on the part you want it to be. Just highlight it and transpose it there. So that's how we work with Excel. Now, the next thing we want to look at is formatting. Now, like I said, I said it before that all of the perks that has to do with aligning, coloring a text, font size, and all of that. This is where I'm going to be making good use of them. Now, we want to make this particular stuff you're looking at here, the way it's scattered like this, not aligned, the way it is like this. We want to make it to be something like this. Okay. All right, yeah. I want to make it to be something like this. The way we are having the Naira one side neatly arranged, the percentage neatly arranged, the everything neatly arranged. We are even having them in decimal. See this way the sales made is neatly arranged. You can zoom in and you can see how neat everything is. Unlike this previous side where they look a bit jam-packed. So it's 2e plus 0.6, 2e plus 0.6. What exactly is the 2e plus 0.6? How do you expatiate? How do you expand and all of that? So we want to transform this right here to that particular one you saw there. How do we do it? Let's start little by little. So now I'm going to start with the header, which is sales made. So what I will do is that I will highlight all of this place, okay? And then come here, this part we are looking at. As you can see, it wrote merge and center. So, Madam Barbara, please, if I'm too fast for you, please let me know. Or if you are lost or stuck at any point, let me know so that I can recap. So merge.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, ma. So for merge and center, so you click here, it merges the whole cell together and then centralizes it. Now, this is another thing you need to understand. When you are aligning a text in this alignment ribbon, as you can see, there is top alignment, there is middle alignment, and there is bottom alignment. Note that some persons, depending on what they are working with, they might want it to be top alignment, they might want it to be bottom alignment, but we need it to be in the middle. That's why it is here like this in the middle alignment. You understand? So another thing we want to do is that we want to increase the font and then change this background to be purple, like what we have over there. So let's increase the font. Now, one way to increase the font is you can manually type the font you want to put, or you could just click here and keep on increasing as high as you want. But let's check the other one. Let's see what the font is like over there. Then we'll replicate it here. So for this, the font here is 26. So we'll replicate it over there. So moving to the other side. So this is 22 now, increase to 26. And then the color. Now, this is bold, quickly underline. I'm just trying to literally take it step by step so that I don't want to assume everyone knows this. So I'm taking it step by step. So now this next part is fill color. This is where we'll come and change the background. So we'll make this purple like the one where we have it over there. I think there's a purple that is there. Now, if we make it purple, this sales made as it's black, it's not really catchy. Let's see what they have here. It's white. Here is white. So, and this looks much more better. So come here, change this to white. And this is where you change it to white. Font color. We turn it to white. And voila, that's it. So now the next thing we want to now do is to transform this part, this whole part here, to that other, the way it was aligned initially. So what do we do? I've highlighted it. Then you come to insert, but before we go there, let's look at how it's supposed to look like one more time. Okay. All right, then let's go back. Okay. So I've highlighted all of these parts. Then, sorry, just a moment. Then another thing we can do is to move your cursor to this part. Just double click. Move here, double click. Move here, double click. Move here, double click. Move here, double click. Move it here, double click. All right. Move here, double click. All right. Then we want to now give it a very nice feel. So we'll come here, format as table. You click on format as table, then you scroll down. Now you see this. This is the actual one that was used. Yes, my table has header. Now, when you do this, it will bring out all of these features you're looking at. You have header row, banded row, filter row, banded column, and all of that. Now, you can decide to work with what you want to work with. That is, this header row, I can decide to check it off. If I do it to turn off the header row that was there, to turn it off. But if I put it back on, it brings them back on for me. So it just depends on what you want to do. So this has scattered some of the things I'm doing. I'll have to redo this thing. Filter button. Now, this filter button is this button you are seeing down here. And this filter button, later on in the class, you would understand why it's needed. As you can see, there are blanks here. You can remove this blank. But like I said, this is going to be later on in the class. For those persons that are doing paid class, you understand why this filter button is really needed. Why it's really, really needed. Then, now let's move on. So we have the filter button. We can turn this off. We don't need this for this class. Then we have the banded rows. We can turn it off so that everything is plain. If we want it to be plain. But if we want it to not be plain, we can put it like this. Then we have total row. Now this one will give you the total, as you can see. But we don't want it for our own. Last column. That's it. It has changed this last column, giving it a different feel. It just depends on what you want to work with. First column. Okay, let's add first column. Let's leave first column like that. Then we have banded columns. It just depends on what you want to do, depending on what you want to work with. If you are told to do it like that, fine. If not, you can leave it the way it is. So now I will need to cut this and place it back up because it has gone down. Oh, I think I have to redo all of this again from my own. All right. So let me work on this part again and redo it. Okay, all right, it's back. So back to format as table. Table design. I come to table design, then remove, yeah, I think I added first column, yeah. So I will remove filter button. Okay, now we can now move from here. So now the next thing we want to do is that if you're looking at this, this is having, yeah, it's looking beautiful, looking nice, but it's not done yet. The work is not done yet. We don't have columns or lines in between to differentiate so that we know which is which and which is not. So that's where we come in right now. We do the lines. So Jeffrey, Buff, and all that. So we'll click here again. Highlight it all. Control A. Control A can highlight everything. Then come to home. Come here. This part where you have bottom border. Click on it. Go to, before you click on all borders, go to line color. Let's change this line color to white. Okay. Then we'll come back here. Then we'll come back here and then click all borders. Now that has brought everything to be white. All right. Now it's still looking scattered. It's not still looking arranged. Let's now have a look at this. It's still looking, this one is still looking neater than that. So let's go back there and finish up the work there. All right. Now, here, another thing that is very important you need to understand is alignments, number alignments, or formatting, number formatting. Now, these ones, let's format these ones to be Right. So now what we do is that I've highlighted this part. Then, as you can see, this one is in bottom alignment. Put it in middle. Then come here and yes, it's a little bit taking shape little by little. Now, the next thing is highlight this down. Come here. Now, these are numbers. So this first here, they are profits, or let's just say numbers. So come here, come to let's put it. You can put it either in a currency or accounting. So let's put it in currency. Now it has made it them in dollars. Reduce the decimal. Okay. From there, we now have another work to do. That is to change it from dollar to naira. How do we do that? Click this drop down where you have the dollar sign. Go to more accounting format. In the more accounting format, you can click on currency. Okay, currency, yes, symbol. Then scroll down. You will see where we have, yes, Naira, Fulani, Edo, Ibibio, Igbo, Kanuri. Now, each of these have the way they look like. Oh, because of his Fulani doesn't mean that the Naira will be the way it's supposed to be. Let's look at it. Naira Fulani. Can you see that the Naira sign is at the back? If you're looking at it. You can see the Naira sign is at the back. Naira sign is at the back, which is not what we would want to work with. Then we have Naira Hausa. Aha, this one now is in front. So we can work with that one. Naira Ibibio, also in front. Naira Igbo, also in front, but it joined the two of them together, the Naira sign and the listen together. We won't want that. Naira Kanuri in front. This one even gave us comma and is in decimal. Yes, this one's also good. Naira Yoruba joined them together, so we won't want that. Now let's pick either from Hausa, Ibibio, or Kanuri. So let me pick Kanuri. And okay. So, and then reduce the decimal that is there. And voila, we have this neatly arranged. Then the next one too, do the same thing for it. Change it to currency. Come here, click on the drop down, go to more accounting. Then go to Naira. Wow, I just saw this thing now. It's almost looking like hard to get. All right, so yeah, it is. So I'm choosing Ibibio now. Let's see. It looks like then reduce. Okay, and here we have it. All right. Then we have the next one, which is percentage. So for percentage, you click on here, then you go to where you have percentage. Click on percentage and reduce the decimal. And then it aligns, as you can see, to the side. Now, but as it is, I could decide to change it. I could decide to, as you can see, I've changed it now. I've placed it in the middle. But normally its first format was to the right-hand side. So it now depends on what you want to, use it for. It depends on what you want to use it for. If you want it to be in the middle, fine. If you want it to be by the side, fine. It depends on how and what you want to use it for. So I'm going to leave this one in the middle here. Then these two, the same way. Come here, go to currency, then reduce decimal. Come here, more accounting. Then we'll search for the Naira sign. Oh, this is for Let's come here. It give you okay, yes, it affected it too. You can reduce the decimal place too from here. Yep, and that's done. Then the last one, yeah, go to percentage, reduce, and like I said, I can put it in the middle, depending on what I want to work with. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Well aligned, spacious for all to see, and neatly arranged. Now the last one is this one, this part. So I'll have to change this part because that's the total. I can't leave it to be the same with the rest so that people can know that there's a difference between them. So now looking at this, we've done this. Let's check what we have on the other one, if it's the same. Okay. 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 Yeah. Looks the same. But there seems to be a little difference in this part. Although we could not leave it like that. I mean, doesn't really change anything. We just leave it like that. Custom. We could not leave it like that. But anyways, we've been able to get it correctly. All right, so we're done with this part, which is the cell referencing. Sorry, not the cell referencing, rather formatting, how to format tables. I'm trying to check out why that one has a little difference from the rest. Let me see. Okay. Well, it doesn't change it. So let's leave it like that though. All right, now the next one we're going to is named range. Now, named range, how named range works is that you can highlight a lot of cell and then give that particular cell a name. When you give it a name, it will become that particular name. And then you will now use that particular name for calculation, and then it will give you what you're looking for, depending on what you're searching for. All right, before I go any further, let me be sure everybody's here. If you are still here with me, please signify with an emoji or drop a message in the chat. Madam Barbara, I hope you are trying this out on your end. Okay, Madam Maria is still here. Okay, Mr. Henry, Mr. Timothy, are you still here with us? Okay. Okay, Mr. Timothy said he's still here. Oh, you're welcome, ma'am. Okay, Madam Barbara said she's trying. Okay, Henry said he's still here. Madam Barbara. Okay, let me see, what have you been able to do so far? Can you share your screen so that probably see what you've done?
I've
Can
not
you?
really been able to do anything. I've been a bit lost.
Oh,
So I intended maybe after the class, then I'll take some time
okay,
to learn it properly.
okay.
That's what I've decided to do.
Oh, okay. Where were you lost, now?
I think starting from the formatting or something of when you started the formatting.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yes, so I don't know. So maybe after the class, I will have to take my time to,
To do it
go
again.
back, yes, and do it again.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. I understand what you're trying to say. That's fine. All right, so that means I'll have to really carry along on this second one so that we are doing it together. So, but I hope you are on the named range right now.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So let's do this. Let's do this one together then. All right. All right, everyone. Let's go on. Let's start with named range. Now, firstly, one thing you need to do, since we've already understood rather how to format a cell or a worksheet, the first thing you should do when you're giving any worksheet is to try and format it first. Like for instance, now this one, see the date. Is having hash, 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 hash. We're not doing hashtag, so we have to format it. Now, as it's showing hash, 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 it means that the cell is not wide enough to accommodate all of the data that is in it. That's why it's having hash, 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 hash. But if you format it now, come here, go to General, click on the drop down, go to either long date or short date, depending on the one you want to use. So you click on one. So let me say I click on short date. As you can see, it has formatted it to short date for me. If I click on long date, to give it to me in long date. So it all depends on what you want to work with. So I'm formatting myself right now. Yep, this, I like this. Remember how we do it. Come here. I might not want too much paparazzi, so let me make it like this. Yes. Remove the filter. I don't need the filter. Then come back here. Put, oh, it's in white. See? Change the line color to black. Then click. Okay, I think white is going to really work for this first one. So turn it to white. And I hope I'm not too fast for you.
No, it's okay. Continue.
Okay. All right. So this, then do I want it to be banded? Banded rows? Nope. Remove the banded rows. Maybe like that. Let me do last column. Yep, it's the last column I want to really work with. So, and I like all of this. Last column. Okay, I think I have to print this one myself. Okay. Then also put, yeah. Okay, hold on. Let me just do this last part. Let this one be the only one to have the whole this. So it's not really picking it. We change it to white. It's not really picking it, so let me leave it then. Oh, hold on. Control-Z. Okay. Now these are other ways you can be able to. How will I put it now? They're like sheet. I'll not really call it sheets, but like ways you can just be able to bypass if you are not getting what you want. There are other ways around it. This is so formatted I can't edit any other thing on it like that the way I want it to be. So let me just leave it like this. There to be on another cell, I should be able to get it sorted out. Okay, like I said, it's so formatted I can't be able to edit any other thing on it. So moving forward, I want to calculate the amount of everything here. Now, there are ways you can do it. You can simply do is equal to, you must always put your equal to sign anytime you're working on anything in Excel, like formulas especially. So is equal to D3 plus D4 plus this plus this plus this, and I press my enter, and then to give me my answer. I can do that, but what if I'm working on a very large data set and I don't have the time to do that plus that plus that plus that? For instance, this formatting that we had here, That I cannot come and start highlighting of them one by one. What of if I'm working with that kind of long data sets? How do I add them up to get this answer? There's a very simple way to get it done. So what you do is that, let me change this to white. So what you do is that you come here, you highlight everything, and come here, delete it. In this region, you are seeing, looking here. If you remember, that part is called, let me take us back to this place. That part is called address bar. That's the address bar or name box. This is it here. The address bar or name box. That's what it's called. Then we'll come here and then let's come back here. So change this to, let me name it AMT. All right. So that place now has been named AMT. So I can just come here and type AMT there. Sorry, just a moment. So let's come here, type sum, open brackets, AMT. As you can see, immediately I typed AMT, it highlighted the whole column here, the whole of D3 to D7, highlighted everything. Close your bracket and press enter. And voila, it gave me the same answer. Then importantly, you should also note that you need to format this. So click on format. Reduce. Okay. All right. And there we have it. Oh, so that was the one we used before. Sorry. Coming back here, I think I found there was something I was trying to look for before. I found it. And that's Naira in Edo. It gives it this beautiful alignment that I so much love. This seems to affect this one. Okay. Let me go back to what we're doing, sorry. All right, so, and that's how we get this. So if, for instance, now, let me come back here. Even though this we already have the total here, and I want to figure out the total for the third year, all of the third year. Okay. What I'll do, I've highlighted it like this. I'll come here, name it, let's say, third year. Okay. Name it third here, third. Yeah. What's us? It's not allowing me to add numbers. So third year. All right. So note that you cannot use numbers when you are using your trying to work with your name box. You can only use alphabets. Then I come here, equals to sum, open bracket, third. As you can see, it's already showing me the third year. Can you see it? Third year. 6259229. Let's check if same thing you have here. 6259229. Can you see the same? So it makes it easier for you to work with. Depending, like I said, it just depends on the kind of data you're working with and how large data is. So that's how you do the named range. That's how you do the named range. So the next one we have is cell referencing. And this is the one I was trying to explain to us the other time, how it works, the peculiarities around it, and all of that. Wow. Okay. So, but before I go any further, I hope we're getting what I'm doing, and Madam Barbara, I hope you're with me now.
Yes, I'm following.
Okay. All right. So everyone, I hope we're getting what I'm doing, and I hope we're together. Hello. Hello. Okay, Madam Barbara says she's here. Oh, sorry, Madam Maria, Maria rather. Okay, I hear it. So as commented. Okay, fantastic. So let's now do the cell referencing. Now, in cell referencing, there are about 3 parts you should know of, or that I'll be explaining to you shortly. One second, close to that there. There are 3 parts I'm going to be explaining to us right now about the cell referencing and how it works. Number 1 is relative referencing. Then we have absolute referencing. Then we have mixed referencing. Now, relative referencing is just the rows and column copy when that would change when copied. So default e.g. A2, A3, just picking them together and getting your final answer at the end. That is relative referencing. Although referencing in its awesomeness allows for efficient use of formulas with fill handle, makes it very easy for you to work with fill handle. If you recollected or recollect rather what we said a fill handle is, let me show you again. So this is the fill handle. And how this works is that you can just click on it and drag it down. If you saw what I did in the named range for here, because at the time when I highlighted the whole stuff, as you can see, this you are looking at right here, that is coming out as a cursor. That's the fill handle. So I can spread it out, as you can see. If I so decide so, that's the fill handle. You just carry your cursor to that small triangle box you are seeing, or this small rectangle box or square box you are seeing at the bottom of your column. That's the fill handle. Just to make it more visible. Yes, this you're looking at right here. That's the fill handle. So this is the fill handle here. Can drag down and drag down. So that's how the fill handle works. All right. So we have relative referencing, we have absolute referencing, and then we have mixed referencing. So absolute referencing, rows and column remains constant in absolute referencing rather. It ensures that the formula is true or correct. So in absolute referencing, they don't freeze the whole cell. You just freeze a bit of them and then leave the rest open. But in mixed referencing, some cells are locked, some cells are opened, and it is interchanged Now, if you look at this, okay. Now, if you look at this, note this part, this is the column, and this is the row. Okay. In absolute referencing, both the row and column are frozen. Both the row and column are frozen. But in mixed referencing, it's not so. Doesn't work like that for mixed referencing. So for mixed referencing, it's either the row is frozen or the column is frozen. That's how it works in mixed referencing. As you can see, for here, the row is frozen. The dollar sign is before the number. For here, the column is frozen. Dollar sign is before the column. So I'm going to be doing a bit of practical now with it. Okay. So here now, we want to find the total of this. That's what we want to get. Total. Now, the other time I did this plus this plus this plus this plus this plus this. There's a different way to get it done. What you can do is equals to sum, open brackets, come here, highlight this one, put a comma, highlight this one, put a comma, highlight this one, put a comma, highlight this one, then you close your brackets. And then you press OK. And there you have it. It's done. Now you can simply copy this and spread it out. And then it's still going to do the same thing. Or you can just spread this one down. And it's do the same thing. Check it out. See? So I highlighted the next one. I highlighted it like that. And then like that. Now, so as much as this looks like a blessing, this can also be an issue. This is why we have the cell referencing in place. This particular stuff you are seeing here is why rather we have the cell referencing in place. Because when you are doing stuff like this, that has to do with formula in Excel. When you are working on things like this, that has to do with formula in Excel. And then you copy a particular formula, and then you replicate it down. What Excel does is that it moves from here to the next one below. From the next one, if you go down again, it moves to the next one. If you go down again, it moves to the next one. Like that. It's not fixed. It's not constant. It varies. And there are times when you'll be working with some document that you need a particular cell, like 100 now, to be the main course, or like the main formula that's going to be used, main variable or constant rather, that should be used in dealing with whatever you want to work with. How do you now keep that 100 to be constant while the rest can be variables, or why the rest can change? That's what we want to do now in absolute referencing. So, like for instance now, I'm having 250 and I'm having 26.60, 25.60. And I want to know how many percent or rather the price that Paula Daniels would have when at each time in this formula. How do I do it? Is 250 is 25. 25.60. What do I do? So that'll be equals to, yeah, equals to this I'll be equal to this. Then I'll put a sign in front of it, a plus sign, plus then open bracket again, this again, then multiply it. That's the multiplication sign, by the way. Multiply it with this. Then I close the bracket back and press enter. So let me open it again for us to see. This plus this multiplied by this, then I close the bracket back. Now, if I do the fill handle, all right, it will spread down. But look at it closely. You can see that we're having an error message here. And there's no way 200 plus 200 times 25.6 should be 200. There's no way 100 times 100 plus 100 times 225.6 should give us 31,500. So which means something is wrong. Now let's check what is wrong. Open this. Can you see? Can you see that it moved from 25.6 and moved down, which is not what I intended to do. I think intend to make the 25.6 to be fixed, to be constant. That's what I'm supposed to use to multiply. That's what I'm supposed to use to like get my final answer. So what I do is I would come here. Now I know that that is a E12, so put E12 there. Then I would then freeze that column using the dollar sign. I've frozen that column right now. Then I press enter. Can you see that the answer has changed? The answer has changed. Now let's now do a fill down. The answer has changed again. Now we're having to look at this one and it's telling us something like, oh, it didn't even freeze it well. It didn't freeze it well. It froze the column, but it didn't freeze the row. It froze the column, but it didn't freeze the row. So that means I'm supposed to ordinarily even freeze the row. That's row 12. And then I draw it down. And voila, now it's now more correct. See, it has frozen that column. I mean the row rather. Row 12. And then if we check the rest, the same thing. So that's how the cell referencing works. Now we're looking at mixed referencing now. This one is simple. Yeah. It might look a bit complex to an extent, but it's actually simple once you understand it. That's why I purposely made a mistake here so that you can learn from the mistake and imbibe from it. So now for this one now, we're looking at 4,000 times 10% of 4,000, how will I put it? 10% increase of 4,000 the first year, 10% increase of 4,000 or 4,000 the second, 20% increase of 4,000 the second year, then 30% increase of 4,000 the third year. And we want to calculate how we would get our final answer on that. Now, how does that work? That will be equals to So equals to this, yeah, plus open brackets, this again. Something is wrong here. This is not correct. I cannot have D4. I cannot have E4 and then have D4. There will be D24 and then another D24. Yeah. Then multiplied by this one and then bracket close. So this is the increments. Although it's asking for commission, so this is wrong. So let me now do commission. Now for commission, I have to delete all of this and leave it at this. Yeah, 400. That's the commission. Now I can draw this down or to the side and then draw it down. And then I will get error messages and incorrect answers. There's no way 20% of 4,000 is 80 or 30% of 4,000 is 24. So what is wrong? Look at it again. Can you see that it moved? From D24, it moved to E24. And then from E22, it moves to F22. That's how Excel works. It would multiply moving forward or moving down, depending on how you are copying and pasting. So what I'm supposed to do normally is I'm supposed to freeze the cell and column so that it does not move around. So like now in this case, I'll have to freeze both column E and row E. Sorry, both column E rather and row 22. So freeze this. So all right. Then I also need to freeze the column D because row D is not moving anywhere for now. Row D is not moving anywhere for now. Then press enter. So now let's now spread it out. Okay. Something is still wrong somewhere. What's wrong? I froze column E. So let me release column E. Now let me come here. It should be where I'm to make that. Yeah, it should be where I'm to make that discovery. Yeah. So let's clean this out so that we're only even having row 22 to be the one frozen. Then spread it out. And yeah, this is now very correct now. Yeah, very correct now. Very correct now. So now another way. Now we've done this one, but if I still fill this one down, it will give me error. And then fill it to the side. Now we have incorrect answers. Wait, oh, it seems like my answers are correct. Oh, okay. Oh, I actually did freeze the correct things. Oh, okay, fine. I froze it correctly. So I forgot that I actually froze it correctly though. So I froze the column D and then I froze row 22. Can you see? That's what I did. Froze column D and froze row 22. Do you want to say something?
Yes, please.
All right, I'm with you.
Please, what's the meaning of you've been saying froze? Like, what does
Okay,
that mean?
why am I freezing it? Now, why I'm freezing it is to allow that part to remain constant. That's why I'm freezing it.
Oh,
Like now, this is
okay.
4,000 and the commission of 10% of 4,000 in the first year. What is it? Commission of 20% of 4,000 the second year. What is it? Commission of 30%. What is it? Now, let me redo this again so that you can be able to see what I mean. So for instance, now I come here equals to this multiplied by this. All right, that's going to give me the 10% commission for the first year. But if I say I want to do the fill and do, and then I stretch it, I will get different answers that are not correct for the rest of the other two. There's no way that 20% of 4,000 is 80. There's no way that 30% of 4,000 is 24. There's no way. It's not possible. So what went wrong? What happened? What did I not do correctly? Jerry, here is what I didn't do correctly. I didn't make some things constant. For instance, I was explaining before that Excel has a way of moving by itself. Look at this one now. From here, it was on 10 and 4,000. And this is what I need to be constant. This 4,000 and this, and just only this 4,000. But this rule has to be constant so that I can get the correct answer. So I come here now, and then it has moved from 4,000 to 400. So what this one calculated for me was 20% of 40 or 400. That's what gave me 80, which is not correct. That's not what I intend to get. So what I would do is when I come back here, I would then freeze the row 22. Freeze it. And then freeze column D. Why am I freezing column D? I'm making the D to remain constant. That is the figures in D. This cell must not move. It must stay on the D column. And it must stay on the row 22. Because I will still need to do fill handle to drag down to get all of these ones so as well. I still need to get all of these ones. So, but for now, let me do this. So I've done this. Nothing changed, but look at what's going to happen to the rest. Can you see?
Yes, sir.
Now, what changed? Let's check it out together. Since I froze the D column, which is 4,000, 4,000 remained constant. I froze the row 22, which is this row right here. So it moved from D to E to E to F, but the row 22 remained constant, which is 20%. So it calculated 20% of 4,000 to give us this one. And he also did the same for this one, 30% of 4,000 to give us this one. Now, that's on a straight line now. If I want to now fill in the whole box, like fill in everywhere here, how do I get that done? Now, before now, I've already frozen this, so we'll just get the right answer for all of these ones. Yeah, this is 250, 380, 510, and all of that. So let's do fill and do. Let's see if we'll get the same correct answer. Yep, the same correct answer. Why? Look at it now. I froze the D column before now, and then I froze the row 22. So no matter how many times I copy and paste or do the fill and do, I will still get the correct answer. Why? Because this highlighted part is not moving to the right hand side. It's staying on one particular position. Hope that's clear, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, man. So right now I can just click on anyone, then do Control C, then come here, highlight the place that needs to be filled and do Control D. I'll be Control V. I need to paste everything that I need to paste there. So before I wrap up this part, does anyone have any other question, so that I know that we are done with this aspect? Hello, any other question? Hello? Madam Maria and Mr. Henry. Any question? Oh, okay. Madam Barbara, please let me have you try this on your own. Let me see you do it. Okay, Madam Maria said no for now. Like, do you have
Okay.
your system on and this part
Right now, my system, I have issues with my system right now, so I can't.
access
I
this
can't.
part? Okay.
Yes, I can't access it.
All right, all right, all right. That's fine. Just wanted to carry along in like hands-on, but it's fine. It's fine anyways.
But I still have another question to ask.
Okay, all right.
Is it when you said, do you need to use that sign that you use for freezing it, the dollar sign,
Yes,
or so that's the sign one is meant to use for freezing it?
yes, that's the sign you use for freezing.
Okay, no problem.
That
That's
dollar
fine.
sign.
Thank you.
All right. So we now for you that have the material, this is an assignment that needs to be done. You have to create your own table. Well, now I'll leave it to it. Let me not show you how to do it first. When you've tried it and didn't get it, then I'll pick it up from there. All right, so we have the next one, which is formulas and functions. I would most definitely not be able to finish this night. Because this one is really broad, covers a lot of things. So I already know beforehand that I'm not going to finish this one. I have to continue. For those that are doing the paid class, we'll continue in the paid class from this part. So now I want to do sum, minimum, maximum, average, count up. Now these are formulas that are used in Excel. There are formulas that are used in Excel. So the average calculates the mean. The sum, like sum adds all the numbers together. The counts would count the numeric values that we have. Then count A would count all non-empty cells. Note, it will count all non-empty cells. Then we have the if statement. The if statement returns one value if a statement or the condition is true and another if false. Then we have max, which finds the largest value. We have min, which finds the smallest value. We have sum if, which adds cells that meet a condition. And we have count if, which counts cells that meet a condition. So count if and all of that. So without wasting much time, let's step right into it. So we have this. We want to find the sum of ratings. That's what I'm looking for, sum of ratings. So equals to sum. Open your bracket. Then you come here. Now, Control Shift down arrow key. Control Shift down arrow key. Then Shift, close your bracket. And then you press OK. And it will give you for sum. Now, what it's doing here for me is that it's doing Madam Barbara, you might also notice this in your own what they call it now, in your own material. So what you do is you come here, this part that has to do with auto correction, click on it, do stop automatically creating calculated, stop it, so that it doesn't give you continuous calculations like that. So this one has given me the sum of all of the ratings from top to bottom. So what I pressed was sum equals to open bracket, Control Shift down arrow key. It will highlight all the cells under that particular column from the one you chose down. Then you press, you close the bracket and then you leave it like that. So the next one is mean. So minimum, so you just press mean, open bracket, come here to Control Shift down arrow key, close, and there you have that. You come here to max, open brackets, Control Shift down arrow key, close brackets, and here you have your max. Average equals to average. Now average is AVG. That's average, but let's write everything in focus. Open from here, Control Shift down, close brackets, giving out the average. Count, so equals to count. Okay, how do we get the formula for rating? Mr. Henry is asking. This particular table already has the rating formula on it. Like it has already been sorted out. Hope you understand. I'm not the one that came up with the rating. Sorry. Okay, yeah, I think I can explain now. Not the one that came up with this rating. It's has already been sorted out already. If that's the question you're asking, is that the question, sir?
Yes, it's the question I'm asking. Like, if a table is being given and you are to derive the ratings, how are we going to come about the formula? That's what I'm asking.
Okay. How do you come about the formula? Now, it depends on the table, and it depends on the data that is in the table. There are formulas for you to go about it. You can either multiply, and then you would there's one of the formulas around here that would enable you check that or deal with the rating. And but we now want to dive into that now this night. Because of time, we have very limited time. We have very limited time. But anyways, like I was trying to explain, it just depends on the data set you're working with. For instance, there are other shortcuts of actually figuring this out. Like now, if I'm being told to find the okay, let me use this particular one that we have here. If I'm being told to find the rate of this, like first, second, third year, and to find the rate of it, like what rate? I could simply multiply all of them and do the percentage for it, or just find the mathematical formula. See, to be someone that works in someone that will be able to use Excel, you need to understand how to calculate first. You need to know your maths to begin with. It makes it easier for you to be able to calculate it on Excel. So you could probably just add everything up, divide it by 100 or something, and or what I'm even saying is not even correct, but I'm just putting it there, just like I'm just trying to get like I'm trying to quickly finish that up because of time, because I'm supposed to touch something else before this time runs out. We only have 6 minutes left. So you could just come walk around this and then get your answer in percentage, depending on how or what you are working with, depending on the data set you're working with. So I hope I've actually answered the question, sir, because like I said, I'm just trying to work with time so that I don't spend so much time. Hello, sir.
I've already responded via a text message. There's no problem. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So now count and then come here. Control Shift down arrow key again. Then here. Then this done. Then here. The last one counts are open brackets. Now, if you noticed, the first ones were in percentage, while the rest were not in percentage. This has been formatted. That's why it's like that. It's not like as if it just happened. This particular cell has been formatted. That's why you have the first 1, 2, 3, 4 in percent, while the next 1, 2 were not in percent. So in case you are working in a data set and you want to derive some things, you have to be the one to set it. Like I said, you format your table. You format your table. So let's see for amount. Might just do 1 or 2 from here. Sum, open brackets, amount sold, control. Yep. As you can see, this one is not in percentage. Like I said, it has been formatted. So we just do it and finish it all up. But no, this is for Mrs. Barbara or Madam Barbara to work on. She really want to finish this part herself. But we're coming to a close for tonight's class. But before I call it a close, does anyone have any question they want to ask so that you know that I can just give you an answer and then we'll move on from there. Any question? Okay, it's like there is no question. Oh, that means everyone understood everything that was done. Now, like I've been mentioning, there is the paid class. So if you are interested in participating in the paid class, which would cover many of these other things that here, this is just like a minute fraction. And I literally mean it. I'm not trying to sell the cost to you, but I'm telling you how it is. This is a minute fraction of what is going to be covered in the paid class. And I mean it. We're going to be covering VLOOKUP, going to be covering if, and or statements, amidst other things. For Excel, and also for Power BI, and then also for SQL. But anyone that catches your interest, just reach out to me via the chat, the number that sent you a message right now for the class, and pick it up from there. But note, the next class that is for this weekend is not going to be a free class, it's going to be a paid class. This class is just a free class. From next week, it's going to be a paid class. Then we might be having another free class by 28th of March. So as much as possible, you can invite your friends and family for that one. You can share this link with them. Let them attend that class by then. So please do enjoy the rest of your evening. And I hope we are all set for work tomorrow. Oh, okay. Madam Maria, you can chat me up. I believe you have my WhatsApp number, or let me just drop the number here so that I will pick up the conversation from there. Okay, so that's the number, that's the phone number. That's the phone number. So you can just drop a message for me. If I don't reply to you tonight, I'll reply to you tomorrow morning, or we'll give you a call tomorrow morning or tomorrow, one way or the other. Okay. So it's 10 on dot. I wish everyone a beautiful night rest. Do have a pleasant day at work tomorrow. Look, you're highly welcome, sir. Do have a pleasant day at work tomorrow, and I pray this week brings more favor for us. Amen. All right, good night, everyone. Madam Barbara, please, if you have any question, you can reach out to me, and I will take it off from there.
Okay, sir. Good night,
All
sir.
right.
Good night, everyone.
All right, good night.